Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's sports ticker. Husker basketball announced today that fans will get their first opportunity to see the men's and women's teams on Friday, October the 1st, with the return of opening night with Husker Hoops. It'll be at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The event free to the public and will feature both head coaches, Fred Hoiberg, Amy Williams, introducing their teams. The men will hold a short scrimmage, and then a concert from G. Herbo will follow. Fans can start registering for lower bowl tickets on Wednesday the 8th at noon on Huskers.com/tickets. Jazz Shelley from the women's basketball squad has been selected to play for her home country of Australia in the upcoming Asia Cup. Shelley, a sophomore guard, transferred to NU this past spring from Oregon. She will be the only U.S. collegiate player on the roster. The tournament will be held in Jordan later this month. The New Orleans Saints announced today that their season opener, set for September the 12th at home, has been moved to Jacksonville because of the fallout from Hurricane Ida that blasted the city. The Saints and Green Bay Packers will play the now neutral site game starting at 3:25 on the 12th. Checking the big league scoreboard, one afternoon final, first of a doubleheader between the Reds and Cardinals. The Cardinals take it 5-4. They're into their nightcap. 9-5 Rockies over the Rangers. Diamondbacks beat the Padres 8-3. Some wet weather back east has postponed the Phillies, Nationals, Marlins, and Mets games. The Reds lead the nightcap 2-1 in the bottom of the first with the Reds. The Mariners over the Astros 1-0, just getting underway. Baltimore and Toronto, New York and Anaheim, and Oakland and the Tigers. Those are today's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time.
Xavier Betts in motion. He gets the flip on the jet motion, and there he goes. 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Xavier Betts finds the end zone, and the Huskers now lead it 16-3.
Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, midweek, hump day, Wednesday, getting you close to a holiday weekend. That's right, Labor Day weekend coming up here in just a couple of days. Last chance for some folks to get out and get the boat out onto a lake, maybe hit the swimming pool one last time, and then the first full weekend of college football about to embark on us. In fact, 24 hours from right now, Rutgers and Temple will be playing, and then at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, it is Ohio State and Minnesota. Some Big Ten teams will get out on the field here in 24 hours. Can't wait for that to happen. We have a big show lined up for you tonight. Our Big Ten Blitz is back. We'll get into that, check out some of the action from our preview, some games coming up this weekend, some really good ones. You've got Indiana going to Iowa, Penn State traveling to Wisconsin. We'll check out that. And Purdue's going to host Oregon State, so you have some big-time Power 5 matchups this weekend. We'll get an inside look at all three of those games coming up later on in the hour. Husker goalie Sammy Hawk, who has been twice now goalkeeper of the week in the Big Ten Conference, she's going to join us at the top of hour number 2. And we're going to talk about something that affects a lot of people in the sports world, and that is concussions. Nebraska has some terrific doctors and neuropsychologists on staff that help Husker student-athletes in particular work their way through concussion protocols. We'll talk with Dr. Kate Higgins and Dr. Amanda Rodriguez in hour number 2 as well. And we want you to be a part of this thing as well. 402-413-2400. Call or text. We are live on our YouTube stream as well. And there's a lot of Husker fans in the chat room that have a great time on a nightly basis in there as well. But let's start with Husker basketball. What a big announcement. What a fun time October the 1st is going to be, Jessica. And chance to see the teams and then take a little concert. That'll be a great time.
Awesome. And great for recruiting. And you start to, diving into that as well. A great artist. I know, I don't know if you're a fan, but I know Andrew, our producer,
Andrew
is
bouncing off the walls.
Yeah. So, that's big. And a lot of teams across the country kind of do this Midnight Madness thing where they bring it. We see Kansas do it every year. I mean, it was a hit, 2 years ago? They had I can't remember who came in.
Rick Ross.
Okay, yeah. So it was a big hit then. And so, I mean, it's big for recruiting, but also really cool for the students, the current student athletes, and fans to get a chance to see both basketball teams.
I'll pop in there to see Swervo perform. I'll have some fun with some of that coming up in a couple of weeks. You mentioned recruiting. That has already been documented. That's going to be a big weekend for Fred Hoiberg. They have some high-level young men who are making their way onto campus for that weekend, so perfect timing to do that. Show them Lincoln, take them to a football game the next night, because that will be a night Husker football game that weekend with Northwestern. It's also homecoming, so the campus ought to be really hopping that weekend.
Great weekend. Awesome weekend to have it. And, just seeing the fans that come out for the, just to meet the teams, that's big, so that, those recruits can see the support that's there for them night in and night out. And, it's going to be really big. They're killing it in the recruiting trail. They've got some talent on campus already, and then I know they're excited about some potential. So I think it'll be a massive weekend for both teams, really.
Should be a lot of fun and a great chance to get out there and for fans to come and get their eyes on, particularly for the men's side, a lot of new faces on the roster. First chance for you to see a lot of them. And you get into October and it's go time. It's practice time, and by the end of the month they'll be having exhibition games. Nebraska has that charity game lined up on Halloween with Colorado that's going to be a blast to be a part of as well. But I think this is really fun. This is fun for the student body, too. I mean, I think there'll be a lot of students that make their way over there because of the concert after the basketball event.
No doubt. I mean, it's, again, appealing to the what the guys are listening to, that the teams are listening to, the student body. So it'll be a huge night. I'm excited. I think it'll be cool, again, because these things couldn't happen a year ago. So, kind of getting the ball rolling on that, and just, you want fans to go out and show out and get these recruits to want to come here to Lincoln.
I was going to have you give us your top 5 G Herbo songs. I don't think you're finished with your list yet, so we'll give you a little bit more time to piece that together. I want to get into another topic that's a lot of the national shows have dealt with today, and speaking of Andrew, he's not happy about this either. Yesterday was cut down day in the NFL, and so teams had to get their rosters down to the 53-man roster, and now they're putting together their practice squads today. And some really good news on the Husker front. Jack Stoll stuck with the Eagles. A lot of people didn't think he would. There's rumors now to Kansas City that DiCaprio Boodle, who was cut yesterday by the Chiefs, is now being added back onto their practice squads. Brendan Hymas, Matt Farniak, right out of college, both have made their teams with the Cowboys and the Chargers. Both were drafted by them, so it's not really surprising that they stuck. But some good news on the Husker front there. But some controversy because there are some people that feel like players have been cut around the league, Jessica, because they have not been vaccinated for COVID. And all the COVID protocols are still very much in place in the NFL. You even had Urban Meyer, the new head coach of Jacksonville, kind of indicated yesterday, kind of slipped up and said, yeah, we made some decisions based on who is and who isn't vaccinated. They've backtracked now on that. But this is a pretty hot-button issue with the league right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really touchy, too, because, I mean, you're starting to talk about rights, and people have their own individual reasons on why they will and will not get vaccinated. From a team standpoint, and we've heard it said around here, just, again, not being able to field a team and having guys get hit, a spread, a close contact, and that costs wins and losses. It costs home games where you can bring in some revenue. And so, but yeah, I mean, that's tough for Cam. And hopefully he lands, he finds a spot. Somebody
will pick him up, I think. He had some issues last week, missed some time because he was going through some testing protocols. And so he believes that's why he was cut. Bill Belichick, New England's coach today, was adamant about, no, that wasn't the reason behind it. But the Players Association is going to get involved in this. I believe the league wants to mandate vaccinations, but they got to get that approved by the Players Association. Same thing in the NBA, same thing in Major League Baseball. You can't make a decision like that unless you get the players on board. And I don't know that they're going to get all the players on board.
I was about to say, there's no way the Players Association is on board with that. There's just no way. So I don't think it. And how do you get it done that quickly? How do you, I don't know how you make a decision and get that approved by, this season even, because a lot of those things kind of take some time to negotiate and work through and go back and forth. And so I don't know how there's any way you can get that even in place.
This is something as a society, this is bigger than just sports. As a society, we're wrestling with this. Companies are trying to decide, are we going to mandate our workers to get vaccinated if we're going to let them come back to work? Government agencies are doing the same thing. This is a huge moment. I think it goes way beyond sports, but obviously that's what we talk about on a nightly basis is sports, and it certainly has been a hot button issue today, particularly with Urban Meyer's slip yesterday. I believe he slipped. I think he did. I think they probably did make some decisions on when it was really close on whether is he vaccinated or not. Could he be somebody who could expose our team to it? I think that had probably factored into it.
Well, and again, as we've seen, I mean, and again, it's everybody's right to decide, and people have their own reasoning, but we've also seen that if you do, even if you are vaccinated and get the Delta variant or whatever, that it doesn't hit you as bad as it's what a lot of the studies are showing, that it doesn't hit you as bad. So if you have a player that maybe gets hit by something, maybe you're out longer. It doesn't affect you as much if you have the vaccine. So you're also looking at potentially having to have someone sit out a little bit longer as well.
Well, it'll be certainly interesting to follow the NFL, which is such a big giant in the sports world in our country. That's certainly been a topic today. And, we've had some universities around the country that are requiring it. University of Nebraska is not. They're not requiring people, students or faculty to return to the classroom with it. So, yeah, it certainly is something we're not done with. Unfortunately, the COVID virus is still very much out there, and in our state, we've certainly seen a hospitalizations rise. Positive cases have been on the rise. They look like they maybe have leveled off a bit. Hopefully, knock on some wood, that's the case, because you don't want a super spreader thing. And I know Nebraska Athletics is worried about this. I mean, if they have to reduce capacity at Memorial Stadium or the Devaney Center for volleyball, that certainly affects monetary, budgetary things. I mean, that's going to be secondary to making sure that they're doing this safely. But it's got everybody nervous. Yeah,
I mean, again, we heard Trev come on here and talk about it, with the rules that you're going to forfeit if you can't put a team out there. So that's a loss for you. Yeah. You can't have that. And then you also can't lose home games, a chance to bring in revenue, especially after missing, the chance of that all last year, and how hard, not just Nebraska, but teams across the country were hit by not having full stadiums a year ago. So, it's just there's a lot of factors that are impacted by all of this.
We've already felt it here with the Tulsa volleyball team not making it up to Devaney last week. So Nebraska lost a home game last year, so it's already affected this school year for Husker athletics. You hope that's it. I wouldn't bet anything that it is. I bet there's probably more of this coming.
Well, and last night on the show with Coach Cook, I asked him kind of how he goes about scheduling, and he said, a lot of teams want to come here because might be the most fans they'll play in front of all season, and just a chance to see, be in this atmosphere that really is unmatched anywhere across the country. And so, I guarantee you Tulsa was disappointed not getting a chance to play in front of that kind of atmosphere. You just don't get it everywhere. And so, the opportunity for teams to miss out on a chance to travel, to have a great experience, to have a matchup against Nebraska, and just, as you mentioned, just with Tulsa alone, just that one matchup here with Nebraska volleyball.
I was talking to a gentleman from Fordham today. They were supposed to open last season at Hawaii.
Really?
So he goes, this year we're opening at Nebraska. He goes, nothing against you guys, but we were really looking forward to that trip to Hawaii to play a game.
Probably kind of like how a lot of people were looking forward to going to Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah, instead we end up in Champaign last week. All right, that's what we have to deal with here on the program tonight. Again, the number, if you want to be part of it, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're back with this week's version of the Blitz. It's next.
You could win a 2021 Ford F-150 XL four-wheel drive Super Crew truck from the Woodhouse Auto family this season. If the Huskers return the first or second half opening kick for a touchdown, Woodhouse will give away an F-150. New contestants will be chosen each week. For details on how to enter the Woodhouse Auto Family Kickoff Contest and official rules, go to woodhousekickoff.com. That's woodhousekickoff.com.
Treatment for kids fighting brain cancer has not changed for over 30 years. If a child survives, they will live with the side effects from the treatments for the rest of their lives. This is Rex Burkhead. The Team Jack Foundation invests in impactful childhood brain cancer research to find better treatments and one day a cure. There's a lot of work to do to beat this disease, and we need your help. Donate today by calling 855-RUN-JACK or by visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Your help makes a difference.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit DeToe Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or DeToeSubaru.com.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Hey, this is Jimmy Buffett. I am so happy to be bringing my Broadway musical, Escape to Margaritaville, to you. It's got all the songs you know by heart, a few new ones, a great cast, and dancing that'll knock your flip-flops off. Get ready to set your mind on island time and get your tickets today. Fins up.
At the Lead Center, September 10th through 12th. Get your tickets today at leadcenter.org.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. A new grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture is supporting Husker research in the study of multi-robot systems in ag settings. The almost $500,000 grant was awarded through the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture to Professor Santosh Pitla. Pitla and his team will use the funds to further their research in the use of unmanned ground vehicles and drones on the farm.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
It's football season. Husker Nation and Famous Dave's is here to make your tailgate, house party, or get-together famous. Award-winning house-smoked St. Louis-style ribs, Texas beef brisket, Georgia chopped pork, and house-made sides like our Wilbur beans, creamy coleslaw, and Dave's cheesy mac and cheese will surely tackle any barbecue craving. Visit famousdaves.com for all your catering and online ordering needs, or come visit us at our locations in Lincoln and Bellevue.
When you're ready to pursue a career-building college degree, go with the school you know and trust, the University of Nebraska. And if you need the flexibility, convenience, and affordability of an online degree program, you can go online with the University of Nebraska. With courses developed specifically for the online learner by our 4 regionally accredited NU campuses, it's a valuable online education for your very real-world future. Go to online.nebraska.edu to learn more.
Treatment for kids fighting brain cancer has not changed for over 30 years. If a child survives, they will live with the side effects from the treatments for the rest of their lives. This is Rex Burkhead. The Team Jack Foundation invests in impactful childhood brain cancer research to find better treatments and one day a cure. There's a lot of work to do to beat this disease, and we need your help. Donate today by calling 855-RUN-JACK or by visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Your help makes a difference.
Score a game-winning drive when you buy your next vehicle at Sid Dillon Chevrolet. As a Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Whatever vehicle fits your needs, we're here to make the purchase process easy. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo. Plus, shop our full inventory at SidDillonChevy.com.
what drives us. Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Rack Sports Island here on a Wednesday night, broadcasting live at our beautiful radio network broadcast studio, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer with 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres, solutions for every field. It's Wednesday night. It's college football season. It's time for us to take a little tour around the conference. We call it the Blitz.
Big Ten Blitz, Wisconsin.
And here to talk about the Badgers, Ben Wergel from Badger Blitz. Ben, what have been some of the storylines and the buzz around camp as they prepare for the opener?
I think a lot of people are anxious to see the maturation of this offense. This offense was going to be pretty young at the beginning of last year already, with Graham Mertz as your starting quarterback, and then it got even younger as the season kind of progressed, with injuries to key wide receivers like Danny Davis and Kendrick Pryor, and that there wasn't much depth behind them. And I think because of that, you saw an offense that usually has been pretty explosive under Paul Chris really kind of take some steps back. I mean, they only had 6 plays over 30 yards last season, so like one like every 82 plays, and you know, they averaged 25 points per game. That was 9th in the league, and that was their worst since 2004. So this is a group that went through a lot of bumps and bruises last year that pretty much is all back, at least from the skill position standpoint at wide receiver. There's depth at wide receiver. Mertz is back for a second year. So I think a lot of people are curious on how this offense is going to take that next step forward. There's certainly some question marks at running back, which is unusual at the University of Wisconsin, that there's kind of an unknown at the running back spot. But the running game was pretty paltry last year. There was only one 100-yard rusher the entire season. And so there's not too many questions about the defense. The defense looks really good, especially that back 8 with the linebackers and the secondary. So I think a lot of focus will be on this offense and how can this offense help take Wisconsin to the next level.
Well, we're going to find out early how good this team is, because you got a heck of an opener with Penn State. How fired up are the fans and the team to open with a quality opponent like Penn State?
Well, I think the fans are just excited to get back and watch the game in person if they choose to do that. And then certainly Penn State is another program. You know, Wisconsin had a kind of a bum year last year too, where they did not come close to their expectations. And Penn State is the same way. They started 0-5 last year and finished 4-5 and didn't play in a bowl game. And I think that's a university that has high expectations for themselves, especially in that East Division. And for a program like them to go 0-5, I think you hear it from the players that, you know, that last year did not sit well with them, that everything that could go wrong went wrong early in the year, especially against the quality of opponents that they played early. I mean, they certainly improved as the year went on, but, you know, they really didn't beat anyone either over that stretch of time. I think their 4 wins are against Michigan, Rutgers, Michigan State, and Illinois. I think those were like 9-21 or something like that. So it's 2 teams that really want to kind of start the year on the right foot, and this is a great opportunity for them. 2 ranked teams to play to kick off week 1. And you know, the Penn State offense too, they have a new offensive coordinator, Sean Clifford, who played quarterback at Penn State, is there to kind of run that spread offense. Kind of those same concepts they ran a handful of years ago when the Penn State won the Big Ten. They beat Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game back in 2016. So it'll be interesting to see how these so-called new-look offenses pair up with some defenses that could, you know, really be the backbone of each team.
How do you see this one turning out?
Well, I'll give advantage to the home team just because the game is being played at home. I think if this game was played in State College, I would probably kind of maybe trend towards Penn State a little bit. But you know, just having been around this Wisconsin program and know what Wisconsin has coming back, I think that's the key for me, especially on defense. I mean, you return all 4 linebackers, including Jack Sanborn and Leo Chanel, 2 all Big Ten type players. The secondary even though lost some pieces, I should say, still returned both starting corners and Fan Hicks and Caesar Williams. The safety pairing of Scott Nelson and Colin Wilder is exceptional. Both those guys had big interceptions in the bowl game. Wisconsin is going to be hard to score on this year, and so as long as the offense can make some dynamic plays to help take some pressure off them, I think this team could be pretty good and probably should win the West by a game or two over whoever. I think that they're just that good this year, and to play one of the best teams in the East, one of the best programs in the East, I think is going to be a good litmus test for them. I think Wisconsin is going to pull this one out here on Saturday.
Should be a good one. 11 o'clock Central on Big Fox. Ben Wergel of Badger Blitz with us. Ben, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week. We may tap on you a couple more times in the fall, if that's okay.
Yep, you got my number.
Yep, thank you. Have a good night.
You too, bye.
All right, so Andrew, you need me to do the end? Okay. All right. You tell me when you're ready. Okay. We're going to get to a couple more reports coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Time to tell you the Nebraska 811 says go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, and it's the law. More Sports Nightly coming up.
Welcome to Ag Answers. Today we're talking about renewable biofuels like corn ethanol and soy biodiesel. Electric vehicles continue to make headlines as we look for ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But did you know by using ethanol, you can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 46% compared to traditional gasoline and by up to 86% when you use biodiesel compared to petroleum diesel? Locally produced biofuels are the here and now solution to combating climate change. They are good for our air, good for our wallets, and good for Nebraska. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Double espresso for Matt, large ice mocha for Greg, and $2,022 for Katie. Oh, oops.
Everybody's mind is on the Nebraska Lottery's Powerball's Rockin' 15 promotion. Until September 25th, buy a Powerball with Power Play ticket and enter for a chance to be one of 15 to win $2,022 and a chance to win $1 million.
Sorry for the mix-up, Katie. Here's your latte.
Forget the coffee. Where's my $2,022?
Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You and your vehicles work hard for the important things in life. Trust high-quality AmeriGuard lubricants by Sap Brothers to protect engines, equipment, and your investment at an excellent value, so you can save money for the things that matter more. Like sending your future Husker off to college. Contact your local Sap Brothers petroleum expert for more information on AmeriGuard lubricants. www.sapbrothers.net/petroleum. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections,
When it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
It's Game On at Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont, featuring our winning combination of Buick SUVs and GMC trucks and SUVs. And as a GMC Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles for your business needs. For the convenient and easy way to shop for your next vehicle, just visit our Fremont location or check out our full inventory at SidDillonBuickGMC.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
We are professional grade.
Great job, everyone. Printers, great coverage. Phones, quick pickups. Firewall, tough defense. And network, way to carry the whole team. Ever since Marco started calling our technology plays, we work smarter and our whole game is more streamlined. Marco's all-star services and support give us the winning edge. Find out what your technology could be saying at marconet.com.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Treatment for kids fighting brain cancer has not changed for over 30 years. If a child survives, they will live with the side effects from the treatments for the rest of their lives. This is Rex Burkhead. The Team Jack Foundation invests in impactful childhood brain cancer research to find better treatments and one day a cure. There's a lot of work to do to beat this disease, and we need your help. Donate today by calling 855-RUN-JACK or by visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Your help makes a difference.
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and the Team Jack Foundation raises funds for childhood brain cancer research. Please consider supporting the Team Jack Foundation by texting JACK to 243-725 or visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Wednesday night on Sports Island here on the Husker Sports Network. We actually have a college football game underway, UAB and Jacksonville State kicking off from Montgomery, Alabama. So college football on a Wednesday night. There'll be games tomorrow night, a couple of Big Ten games, and a Big Ten game on Friday night. Here we go.
Love it. I did want to mention, since you read the Team Jack read, 22 patients will be coming in on Friday. They'll meet with a few members of the team, and then they'll get to go to the game on Saturday. So I'm going to get to cover that, and we'll bring some video of that, but just really cool. I think that's so neat how they've continued to be involved with that and raising, over $150,000, just monumental.
That's fantastic. You know, they had the road race. The Husker football players did the road race to raise money for pediatric brain cancer. A lot of it was tied to the Team Jack Foundation. That was back in June. So that'll be a cool thing. And I'm glad the Huskers are involved in that. Nebraska has to be careful what kind of charities they get involved with. They are involved with Team Jack, and Tom Osborne's teammates are two of the big ones that they do support.
It just, again, keeping things into perspective. You know, you got these kids coming in that are, facing the toughest battles of their lives, and, just a reminder that there are bigger things. And so, the guys that are involved, Austin Allen and Adrian Martinez is going to be there. They're on the leadership council. So, two team captains that do a lot in the community are great representatives of this team. And so they're going to get to hang out with them a little bit on Friday afternoon.
Weather's supposed to be pretty good this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. They're saying 75 at kickoff. That is going to feel
It felt
fantastic.
great this morning.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Felt really, really good.
You're ready for fall.
I am. Yeah, I am. I'm tired of the 90s. Let's drop this down a few degrees. Dorothy Lynch, home style and light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text at that very same number. We are headed to an 11 o'clock kick on Saturday morning for the Huskers and the Fordham Rams. They are an FCS school from the Patriot League. I mentioned earlier in the hour that I talked to some folks back at Fordham today. They're really excited about coming out here. They have a young man who's a good player, a good starter on their defense from Omaha, so I'm sure he's going to be excited to be back and playing in Memorial Stadium, where he probably came to a lot of games growing up.
That's got to be cool for those guys that get to come back and experience that. And, you know, Coach Cook was talking about that last night, about the teams that are being brought in this weekend for the Emeritus Classic, that a lot of them have ties somehow. And so just cool that to get to experience that, especially if you're a Nebraska kid.
They have a really cool graphic, Fordham does, on their game notes, Jessica, about New York City, because Fordham is in the Bronx, is where that campus is located. The New York City football team since 2012, they have the most wins, more than the Giants and the Jets of the NFL, who obviously play more games than college football teams do. And they also like to stick Rutgers on that graphic, who's a member of the Big Ten Conference. They have 19 more wins on the football field since 2012 than Rutgers does. They love that.
I have a friend that is a Jets fan. I made sure to send them that graphic.
I'm proud of somebody for saying openly that they're still a Jets fan, because they've had some hard times that they've had to deal with in recent times. But yeah, 57 wins for the Fordham program since 2012. Tied. They're actually tied with the Giants, but yeah, I mean, because they don't play nearly as many games, that's cool that they have that. They also have the Jets, Rutgers, and a couple of other schools in the FCS level. They are a member of the Patriot League, not a very big league. There's only 6 teams in that league: Holy Cross, Fordham, Colgate, Bucknell, Lafayette, and Lehigh. FCS, so around here, you think of FCS, you're thinking of South Dakota State, and South Dakota, North Dakota State, North Dakota, Northern Iowa, just across the way where we got Chris Kolarvik, transfer from Northern Iowa. The Patriot League is not nearly as well respected as the Missouri Valley with all those schools in it, but hey, they'll come here. The first game of the year for them. They're going to be excited to play. I think they'll put on a great effort against Nebraska on Saturday.
South Dakota plays Kansas, right? I think
they do.
Yeah. You taking South Dakota in that?
No, I think the Jayhawks will get her done. The South Dakota State, who played in the FCS title game in May, they travel to Colorado State, and they're actually favored to win that game against the Rams Friday night. So they're favored to go win on the road out there. Our Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Need to slip in our final break of the hour. We'll take that break and come back. We still have a couple more Blitz segments we want to get to before the hour expires. We're back with more coming up.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
It's football season. Husker Nation and Famous Dave's is here to make your tailgate, house party, or get-together famous. Award-winning and house-smoked St. Louis-style ribs, Texas beef brisket, Georgia chopped pork, and house-made sides like our Wilbur beans, creamy coleslaw, and Dave's cheesy mac and cheese will surely tackle any barbecue craving. Visit famousdaves.com for all your catering and online ordering needs, or come visit us at our locations in Lincoln and Bellevue.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. On May 7th and 8th, Nebraska celebrated its largest May graduating class in university history. 3,594 degrees were awarded to Nebraska graduates in ceremonies at Pinnacle Bank Arena and Memorial Stadium. Along with receiving their diplomas, graduates also heard inspiring speeches from notable Nebraskans, including legendary coach Tom Osborne.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Welcome back inside of our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer, with 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres Solutions for every field. Let's continue on with our trip around the league with the Blitz.
Big Ten Blitz, Indiana.
And here to talk about the Hoosiers, Zach Osterman of the Indianapolis Star. Zach, what have been some of the big storylines in August as this team prepares for their opener?
Well, the inescapable one obviously has been Michael Penix. You know, I think we were sort of joking with Tom Allen that we only have to ask him about Penix's health one more time before the Iowa game. We'll talk to him on Thursday of Iowa week. But that's been the big one. I think beyond that, though, there has kind of also just been this sort of lingering question that no one can answer with anything other than results, and basically just what will be kind of the result of the collision of maybe the best football team IU's had pound for pound in a very long time, and raised expectations paired next to a very difficult schedule. You know, going to Iowa, hosting Cincinnati, the murderer's row that Indiana always gets in the Big Ten East. And so it's just kind of trying to figure out, you know, in everything we talk about with this team, whether it's kind of in the micro or the macro, how do they handle that? And what does, you know, what does a successful season look like, therefore, essentially, given that this isn't a team that's maybe going to have, you know, get to ease its way into the season, but also a team that, you know, it's not impossible to see them winning at Iowa. It's not impossible to see them beating Cincinnati week 3 at home. And so that's probably kind of been maybe the undercurrent, I guess, running through all of it, is just figuring out where those two pieces fit together.
Okay, you've mentioned it. Iowa is the opener in Kinnick and Iowa City. Well, give me the kind of the Reader's Digest version of what this game may look like, and what's the keys for Indiana to win on the road in the opener.
Well, it's always kind of tricky to talk about Iowa, a team facing Iowa, because you feel like you can fall into the trap of just saying, well, they're Iowa. You know what they do, you know what they're about, their system, their scheme. But at the same time, you know, if it were that simple, they wouldn't be so successful. And I think Indiana's got a healthy respect for that, and a healthy respect, I think, just more generally for Kirk Ferentz and the consistency he's built in Iowa City. I think more than most, this is a game that's going to be won and lost at the line of scrimmage, not just because of where Iowa, you know, is as a team and Iowa's identity, but also because I think on the defensive side, Indiana feels like its defensive line is in a really good place going into this season. I also think, and this is more me speaking than them, I think if you look at this defense, which was, of course, very good a year ago, that line is maybe the one area where there's still kind of the highest ceiling for improvement. You know, you've got All-Americans at linebacker, All-Americans in the secondary, lots of experienced players, established players, and you've got some of that along the line. But I think that there's more room to kind of grow in that area than there may be in the other two, because the other two positions are so settled and experienced. And then offensively, you know, obviously offensive line play is going to be a big part of keeping Michael Penix healthy, a big part of getting some of the efficiency back into this offense. Indiana can be very explosive offensively last season, but lost some of the efficiency that it enjoyed in 2019. And just generally, you know, Indiana's offensive line, like I suspect a lot of offensive lines, kind of had some ugly moments in 2020, just it was a tough year for that specific position group with COVID-19 and the protocols everybody had to adhere to. And I wouldn't be shocked if, we just kind of see a slightly better Indiana offensive line than what we saw last year, just because things are a little bit more normal. And so I think it's really cliche to say the lines of scrimmage, but I think these matchups, and specifically kind of where Indiana comes, the position from which Indiana comes to this game, that's what I'd be looking for.
Indiana and Iowa, 2:30 Central on Big Ten Network. Zach Osterman of the Indianapolis Star. Zach, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, as always.
Big Ten Blitz. Purdue.
And here to talk about the Boilermakers, Mike Carmen of the Journal-Courier. And quarterback decision has been made, right? Tell me about that for the Boilers.
Yeah, Jack Plummer's going to get the start. It'll be his first season opening start. He has played. He started 9 other games over the last couple years, so he has an experience. Not really a surprise. I thought it was time for Jack to win that job, and he did. Close battle with Aiden O'Connell, which Nebraska fans very familiar with from a couple years ago, where he came in and replaced Plummer and led them on that game-winning drive. So, Jack gives them a little bit more mobility out of the quarterback position as they try to manufacture some rushing yards this season.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's a good segue into a phase of the game I know they feel like they have to get better at. What kind of returns have they gotten in camp about the run game?
Man, it's looked good, but you don't know how it looks when you play somebody else and they're scheming, to stop you. And to me, the running game is not making sure Purdue leads the Big Ten in rushing yards. They can't be last, but to me, it's situational. Are they converting their 3rd and 1s and 3rd and 2s when they run the ball? That's an area they've struggled with over the last few years, and even going for it on 4th down. They need to be better in those situations to hang on the ball, especially in the second half if they're trying to protect a lead or they're trying to, take the lead. They've just got to be better in those situations. If you remember, there was a game against Nebraska a few years ago. Purdue didn't get a 3rd and 1, had to punt. Nebraska was out of timeouts, and Nebraska came right down the field and scored with no time left. So those are the situations they've got to improve on.
Okay, defensively certainly was an issue a year ago, a massive overhaul of the staff. What are you hearing about that side of the ball as they get ready to open the season up?
Well, Bob Diaco's gone, which I know Nebraska fans enjoy hearing his name. But yeah, it was a cleaning of the house, so to speak. They brought in a lot of experience on that side of the ball. Brad Lambert's going to call the plays, although they have a total of 3 co-defensive coordinators. But Lambert is a former head coach at Charlotte. Ron English, former head coach at Eastern Michigan, and also was Michigan's defensive coordinator for a time. And then Mark Hagan, he worked here at Purdue 10 or 12 years ago, but has made stops at Texas and Texas A&M. He'll run the defensive line. They're going to be more aggressive. They're not going to sit back like they did last year. They're going to try to create some more turnovers. They've got to be better on 3rd down. But, how all that looks against an opponent, especially one with Oregon State, they have all their offensive line back, 82 combined starts. So that part of it's going to be a bit of a challenge on Saturday for Purdue.
All right, you teed it up. You teased it a little bit there. The Beavers are the opponent for Saturday. What's this matchup look like?
Well, as I said, I think Oregon State's going to try to run the ball, lean on their offensive line, and try to maybe play keep away from Purdue's offense. Purdue's going to still push the ball in the air. They're going to push the ball downfield to David Bell. Don't have Rondell Moore this year, but they've got some other playmakers on the perimeter that I think throughout the course of the season you'll hear a little bit more about. So, I think when Purdue gets the ball, I think they've got a good chance to put some points on the board. But how does that defense look, and can they get off the field on 3rd down and force maybe Oregon State into some uncomfortable passing situations?
It's Under the Lights, 6 o'clock Central at Ross 8 on FS1. Oregon State at Purdue. Mike Carmen of the Journal-Courier. Mike, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there he is, Mike Carmen with the Journal-Courier joining us here on the Blitz. There's some just great matchups this weekend, and we touched on a couple of them last week with the Blitz, talking about the Rutgers matchup tomorrow with Temple, the Ohio State-Minnesota game tomorrow night, Northwestern Michigan State on Friday, and so then we picked off a couple more here. Just a really, really juicy first weekend. I can't wait for this to get going tomorrow with some Big Ten games. I think there's going to be a lot of fun games to watch.
I love it. Remember the time when it was just really crappy matchups for the first 3 or 4 weeks, and then before we got to see good matchups. I think it's awesome the way that they're kicking things off with lots of good. It's going to be great football all day. So great way to kick it off, and Thursday night, Friday night, and then all day Saturday.
You could make an argument that this first weekend of play, that the top 6 teams in the Big Ten are playing each other. Ohio State's clearly the number 1 team. A lot of people feel like Minnesota's got a chance to win the West, so there would be 2 teams in the top 6. You've got Penn State, Wisconsin, which everybody would say are in the top 6, the upper half of the conference, and Indiana, Iowa, that are both ranked. So right there, those 3 matchups, man, there's going to be some good football.
And I think you're going to learn a lot about all of those teams,
are.
Whereas, if they were playing, a cakewalk or whatever, you might not know as much about teams. But I think we're going to learn a lot about all of those teams right out of the gate, and learn a lot at that.
And then on the national scene, I mean, you got Georgia, Clemson. Those are 2 top 5 teams playing weekend 1. It's a really, really good.
It's crazy how that works out too, because I wonder when that game was scheduled. It had to be a while.
I don't know. I think they put that together fairly recently.
Oh, they did.
That's
okay.
one of those Chick-fil-A things or something that are going on that somebody threw together. I don't think that's been on the books for very long.
Well, I guess it's good for either of those teams, if they're trying to make the college football playoff, to lose early,
That's
so that they can keep winning. But I'll bet there might be a few people thinking, "Oh gosh, why are we playing this game?"
Absolutely. But if I'm fans, I'm really fired up for the games, and if I'm the players, August would have flown by maybe it took forever because you're like, I can't wait to get to that game and play those guys.
Yeah, but huge opportunity for both those teams, and then whoever loses still going to have a chance to at least you get your loss out of the way early, as we've seen number of 1-loss teams get into the playoff.
Enjoyed your conversation with Coach Cook last night. Husker volleyball will be in action 3 times over the weekend. They'll play Omaha Friday at 11. Then they will play Georgia and Arizona State over the weekend. For those of us who missed parts of the show, what was his take of the opening weekend of play for his team?
Felt good about it. Got a lot of players that he got to get out there and get some experience. Also, talked about the crowd and just getting a feel for that, because again, they didn't, some of these freshmen and sophomore getting that experience for the first time, but still trying to figure out, the lineup situation. Nicklin Hames is practicing, hopefully going to have her back as well, but had 2 setters do really well, and of course just raved about Lexi Rodriguez, the Big Ten, co-Big Ten Freshman of the Week, and how well she did.
It looks like she's worked her way into the starting rotation as a freshman at that spot.
Yeah, she's a libero. I mean, and he says she's by far and away the best passer in the gym. So, and he said the best passers are going to play. We talked a lot about that last night. So if you want to go back and listen to that, just why that's kind of so important to this program and how that kind of developed for him. But big weekend, another big weekend with 2 on Friday, which that was supposed to happen last weekend, which again changes everything and how you kind of prepare for that. So 2 on Friday, and then having to turn right around and play on Saturday. So it's going to be a good challenge. And as we talked about, and I think you said it about, I bet Coach Cook was happy that they had that a little bit of that adversity and had to fight to win that set against Kansas State and come back and win it. Yeah. I think he was. I think he was glad that they learned from that and were able to take a lot away from that.
Absolutely. That's where you learn your team, is put them in a tough spot where it's not all going great. I mean, 2 sweeps. Yeah, he would have walked away. You knew you were going to sweep Colgate, but to sweep K-State would have been great. But you also, I think he probably deep down, maybe he would or maybe won't admit it, but you learn more when your team has to really fight to get out of a big of a hole than they did last week. So looking forward to the weekend coming up. Hey, buckle up and put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 1 hour in the books. Coming up next hour, Sammy Hawk, who is a goalkeeper for the Nebraska soccer team, named the conference goalkeeper of the week last week and again this week. She's going to join us on the program, and we're going to hear about some folks who deal with Husker athletes and how they get them through concussion protocol. Dr. Kate Higgins and Dr. Amanda Rodriguez are going to join us as well in hour number 2 of the show. Come on back. Another hour to go.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Treatment for kids fighting brain cancer has not changed for over 30 years. If a child survives, they will live with the side effects from the treatments for the rest of their lives. This is Rex Burkhead. The Team Jack Foundation invests in impactful childhood brain cancer research to find better treatments and one day a cure. There's a lot of work to do to beat this disease, and we need your help. Donate today by calling 855-RUN-JACK or by visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Your help makes a difference.
Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a Husker fan favorite for generations, with tradition baked into every pizza. And now, Valentino's Pizza, Poster, and Pepsi is back. Get 2 jumbo one-topping pizzas for $17.79 each when you buy 2 and a free Husker football schedule poster. Add a 2-liter of Pepsi for only $1.99. Place your order for carry-out, curbside pickup, or delivery at valentinos.com. Valentino's, proud to be the official pizza of the Huskers. Go Big Red.
Here we go again. The celebrating, the accolades. Ever since we added Marco to our team, our technology can't lose. Day after day, success after success, Marco's made our business IT a force to be reckoned with. The only drawback of being technology all-stars is keeping champagne away from the electronics. Find out what your technology could be saying at marconet.com.
It's football season. Husker Nation and Famous Dave's is here to make your tailgate, house party, or get-together famous. Award-winning house-smoked St. Louis-style ribs, Texas beef brisket, Georgia chopped pork, and house-made sides like our Wilbur beans, creamy coleslaw, and Dave's cheesy mac and cheese will surely tackle any barbecue craving. Visit famousdaves.com for all your catering and online ordering needs, or come visit us at our locations in Lincoln and Bellevue.
Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's Sports Ticker. Husker basketball announcing today that the fans will get their first opportunity to see the men's and women's teams Friday, October the 1st, with the return of opening night with Husker Hoops at PBA. The event, free to the public, it will feature both head coaches introducing their teams, and then the men's squad will hold a short scrimmage followed by a concert from G. Herbo. Fans can start registering for lower bowl seats on Wednesday, September the 8th at noon on Huskers.com/tickets. Jazz Shelley from the women's basketball squad has been picked to play for her home country of Australia in the upcoming Asia Cup. Shelley, a sophomore guard, transferred to Nebraska this past spring from Oregon. She will be the only U.S. collegiate player on the roster. The tournament will be held in Jordan later this month. The New Orleans Saints announced today that their season opener against the Green Bay Packers, set for September the 12th, has been moved to Jacksonville because of the fallout from Hurricane Ida that blasted the city. The game will still kick off at 3:25 on September the 12th. Checking the big league scoreboard, finals. Cardinals in game one of their doubleheader with the Reds win 5-4. Colorado 9, Texas 5. Arizona beat San Diego 8-3. It was the Mariners shutting out the Astros 1-0. A couple games postponed. Phillies and Nationals, Marlins and Mets because of wet weather again from that tropical storm Ida. Games in progress. The Reds all over the Cardinals in the second game of the doubleheader, 9-1 in the third. Orioles lead the Blue Jays 2-1 in the fourth inning. Bottom of the third, it's New York 2. The Angels, nothing. Top of the fourth, Oakland 2, Detroit 1. Boston leads Tampa 1-0 in the bottom of the third. The other action in the big leagues either about ready to start or will start here shortly. Those are today's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time.
Looking to throw, steps, throws, pass, intercepted. Far side, Cam Taylor-Britt to the 50, Britt to the 40, 35, spun out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Cam Taylor-Britt gets his fourth career INT, and the Huskers in business after their third pick in 2 weeks.
Let's go.
Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back, hour number 2, Sports Nightly here on a Wednesday night. Going to have some fun this hour. Going to talk some Husker soccer. They're in action twice at home over the weekend. They'll play UNO tomorrow night. In fact, at this time, they'll be getting underway out at Hibner Stadium, and then they will face Loyola of Chicago on Sunday. So a pair of home matches. Sammy Hawk, who has had a terrific couple of weeks, Big Ten goalkeeper of the week, not only week 1, but week 2. So she will join us here in a couple of minutes. And we're going to talk about brain and concussions, treating brain injuries for student athletes. A couple of people who are on the staff here for Nebraska, Dr. Kate Higgins and Dr. Amanda Rodriguez, will join us a little bit later on. Ever had a concussion?
Yes, I actually have.
Did you?
Once I took a line drive off my face. I was playing pitcher in softball, and it knocked me out. But other than that, I didn't have any more after that. But I was little. I was young.
Yeah. What were your massive headache? What were your?
I blacked out. So my brother became a coach, and he went through. You kind of now have to go through all kinds of training and protocol and stuff. And I mean, if you get your bell rung where it's like you black out a lot, that's usually they rule that a concussion. And so at the time, you just say, "Oh, you just got your bell rung, get back out there." But usually when you black out, that's a concussion. But yeah, I didn't have any issues after that.
You were nauseous?
I mean, I was young. I was little, but I don't remember all. I just remember that I was scared of the ball after that. I actually quit softball not long after that because I was scared of the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's with so many youth sports, and I mean, in soccer, we're seeing it in soccer a lot,
Sure.
and just knowing how to manage it. I know recruits, when they're coming in, families are concerned about that and what's kind of in place to help prevent. Is once you get one, it's so easy to get another, and then you're talking about CTE and all the things. So how you're managing it and what's in place here to protect the student athletes. Have you had a concussion?
I have not. I thought at one point I did. I was playing basketball and I collided with another guy. Went down, head was hurting. Took the exam, but they put the light in your eyes and they said, "No, you're not. You may have a nice headache for 12 hours or so." So no.
Yeah.
But you can get them in car wrecks if you're in a car wreck, or you can get it. Yeah. walking around in the wintertime on ice, you hit the patch, boom, you hit your head. I mean, it can happen in a lot of different places. So we'll get into that topic coming up here in a little bit. I'm excited for this soccer program. They've gotten off to a really good start. They just came through a stretch of 3 road games at Missouri, Bader, Oklahoma. So 3 Power 5 road games. They go 2-1. Really good start to the year.
Well, and you were talking about it before the season, how in the spring season, maybe you had a little bit more trouble finding the net, but that has not been as much of an issue. Now at Oklahoma, they didn't score, but, through the 3 games before that, the 3 wins, they were scoring a lot. So I think they've got some more offensive firepower, and then, they've got some help on the defense, as we've said all along, but Sammy Hawk has been a great addition in the net for the Huskers, and she won the starting job. She's hurt. She got hurt right before the overtime.
Last minute of regulation.
The last minute. So she had to go out. So she did not give up the goal. But I was looking at some of the stats. I mean, she's leading the Big Ten in saves and is top in the country in saves as well. So she's a big addition, and they'll hopefully be able to get her back. But they do have, as we heard a lot from a lot of teams, depth there. So they'll be calling on somebody else to fill the net this weekend.
Very good. You had a chance earlier today to catch up with Sammy.
Yeah, and wants to get into broadcasting. So got to talk with Sammy about a lot of different things. Sammy, what start to the season, not only for this team, but for you personally, back-to-back Big Ten goaltender of the weeks to start this season. How's it feeling? How are you clicking with the team?
It's been really good. I'm kind of shocked to get it not only once, but twice in the first 2 weeks of our game. So I'm really blessed to be in this position. Our team has been clicking, I think, very well. The beginning is more tense, trying to get to know everyone and their intentions on the field, and I think it's gradually getting better, and as we approach Big Ten, it's starting to click.
So you guys coming off a road trip weekend, you beat Baylor, then fall to Oklahoma in double overtime. You went down hurt. Are you healthy? Are you okay? Are you going to be ready to go this weekend?
I will not be playing this weekend. I dislocated my shoulder and partially tore my labrum. So I have a few weeks of recovery, and hopefully we'll be back soon, within at most 3 weeks.
Okay. So speedy recovery then, hopefully, to you. But the weekend, though, beating Baylor and then double overtime into Oklahoma, just the start overall, what's kind of enabled you guys to kind of get off to the start that you've gotten off to?
I think the seniors have just done a great job of including everyone, and we have so much depth coming off the bench that every time John subs, there's always someone stepping up and giving their 100%. It's showing, I think, definitely.
You transferred here from Arizona. What kind of played into that decision that you wanted to come to Nebraska and play here?
I have family from the Midwest, and I came here without even meeting the coaches, so I had to Zoom call and get to know everyone that way, because it was the dead period. And a few of the girls on the team I met and just were so sweet and so nice and super including. So I just fell in love with the atmosphere and everything that Nebraska had to offer.
You lead the Big Ten with 24 saves, but I know we've had a couple of your teammates in, and defense has been a big emphasis for this team. How much does it help you as a goalkeeper to have that the defense in front of you?
A lot. I've had a lot of defense in the past, and I think Liv and Grace and Maggie and Kat and everyone involved, Riss, they've just been so strong throughout the back. They've helped me out in many situations. And I think it just starts from there and has continued. They've just been very strong in front of me.
It's awesome. How did you get into being a goalkeeper? I feel like most kids, and I asked a couple of your teammates this too, want to score all the goals. How did you get into being the person that was preventing people from scoring the goals?
So I've actually only been a goalkeeper for 3.5 years now.
Oh, wow.
I began my sophomore year in high school. I've always been a backup, and somehow in all of my teams growing up, I ended up in the goal, and I didn't like it at all. But, you know, I just continued to keep doing it and helping my team out throughout the years. And eventually it was an open opportunity, and I started to fall in love with the position.
So you like it now then?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a different kind of thrill.
It's awesome. And you're majoring in journalism, so you maybe want to do this kind of thing moving forward in your life.
I do. Yes, ma'am. I want to become a sports broadcaster just like you, and hopefully start somewhere. I mean, I know this is small, but I know anything can happen from just here in Nebraska. They have such a wide variety of opportunity, and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back on Sports Nightly often. I also was noticing on your bio, this is kind of a fun tidbit about you. You also were on the bass fishing club in high school. How did that come about?
Yes, my brother is really big into fishing, and it was a district club, and they brought it to my school, my brother and his friends, and they started it. And one of my close friends back home, she came up to me and was like, let's join in with them. And so we started and went on with the year. It was so fun and a great way to expand. Not only just I have soccer to fall back on, but it's just a way to get my mind off of things when, you know, soccer isn't always going the right way.
You found any good spots around here, or you haven't had time yet, probably?
I haven't had time. I've been a little busy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, maybe some of our listeners can text in with maybe a spot you can hit up at some point. This weekend, you guys are back at home. How excited are you guys to be back at Hibner Stadium? I know what a great atmosphere. You got 2 big wins at home. What's kind of the key? You won't be playing, but for the team.
I think we're really excited to be back home. We had a long trip in Texas and Oklahoma, so playing back at home is going to be really good. It's going to be a great start to, you know, this year, and I think that we're going to start off really strong, and yeah, I think it's going to look good.
You mentioned some of the seniors. Just how's working in with so many people coming back and all the freshmen? The freshmen have been outstanding for you guys as well. How have you guys kind of gone about kind of building that chemistry so quickly here to start this off?
Honestly, we've just clicked so well, just, you know, going to dinner, or we've been doing a bunch of Bible studies together and devotionals before our games just to click and spiritually and get together that way. Not much other than the field, obviously, because we've been so busy, so it's kind of been on our own whenever we can get to know each other.
Well, you can tell you guys all like each other and get along, and it's shown in the results. But best of luck this weekend and to your healing process. Hopefully you'll get back out on the field, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you so much.
Greg, we were talking with her a little bit after we finished that interview, and boy, you can't rush that. You can't rush that injury, but she'll be big to get back, and she's been such an asset for this team, the 2-time Big Ten goalkeeper of the week.
I'm worried about that shoulder lasting the year without her having to have some surgery, and you've had this happen to you, I know, because you were telling me earlier that your shoulder pops in and out. Once you do it once, it's much easier to happen again. And as a goalie, you are laying out for balls, you're deflecting, you're picking them up, you're going to land on that shoulder a handful of times a match. So they cannot rush her back, and I know she wants to play in those games next week when she's going back to Arizona where she played before, but I don't think she's going to be ready by then.
You need to take your time and get her back, and it's a long season. You know, I was writing down all the I'm better when I write it down. So my big desk calendar, I was writing down all the games and matches for all the sports in the fall. And it's a long season. They've got a lot of games left. And so just be patient and be back. And they have depth there at that position. I know it was a battle at goalkeeper. When we had the girls on right before the exhibition games, they didn't know who was going to start at goalkeeper.
So it's that close.
Yeah. So it was a battle all throughout camp. So they've got some depth there. And just need to keep it going and continue to build before you head into the Big Ten, which you said that there's some tough matchups.
Yeah. Penn State's really good. Rutgers is always really good. So there'll be some Michigan's off to a great start as well. All right, they play tomorrow night at home. Let's get a good crowd out there to Hibner. I know the hooligans will be out there rooting them on tomorrow, 7 o'clock, when they take on UNO. Valentino's Pizza, Poster, and Pepsi, it's back. Get 2 jumbo one-topping pizzas for $17.99 each and free Husker schedule poster. Add a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi for only $1.99. Valentino's, the official pizza of the Huskers, the way pizza should be. We're back to talk to Dr. Kate Higgins, Dr. Amanda Rodriguez, 2 members of the Huskers staff. They deal with athletes that go into concussion protocol. We'll get into that next.
Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a Husker fan favorite for generations, with tradition baked into every pizza. And now, Valentino's Pizza, Poster, and Pepsi is back. Get 2 jumbo one-topping pizzas for $17.79 each when you buy 2 and a free Husker football schedule poster. Add a 2-liter of Pepsi for only $1.99. Place your order for carryout, curbside pickup, or delivery at valentinos.com. Valentino's, proud to be the official pizza of the Huskers. Go Big Red.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. With a combination of strong academics and affordability, UNL offers an excellent educational value. This year, the university was named one of the Princeton Review's Best Value Colleges. And the new Nebraska Promise and Career Scholarship programs are connecting more hardworking Huskers with financial help so they can pursue their dreams.
You could win a 2021 Ford F-150 XL 4-wheel drive Super Crew truck from the Woodhouse Auto family this season. If the Huskers return the first or second half opening kick for a touchdown, Woodhouse will give away an F-150. New contestants will be chosen each week. For details on how to enter the Woodhouse Auto Family Kickoff Contest and official rules, go to woodhousekickoff.com. That's woodhousekickoff.com.
Treatment for kids fighting brain cancer has not changed for over 30 years. If a child survives, they will live with the side effects from the treatments for the rest of their lives. This is Rex Burkhead. The Team Jack Foundation invests in impactful childhood brain cancer research to find better treatments and one day a cure. There's a lot of work to do to beat this disease, and we need your help. Donate today by calling 855-RUN-JACK or by visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Your help makes a difference.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Score a game-winning drive when you buy your next vehicle at Sid Dillon Chevrolet. As a Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Whatever vehicle fits your needs, we're here to make the purchase process easy. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo. Plus, shop our full inventory at SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us. Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
Treatment for kids fighting brain cancer has not changed for over 30 years. If a child survives, they will live with the side effects from the treatments for the rest of their lives. This is Rex Burkhead. The Team Jack Foundation invests in impactful childhood brain cancer research to find better treatments and one day a cure. There's a lot of work to do to beat this disease, and we need your help. Donate today by calling 855-RUN-JACK or by visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Your help makes a difference.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's football season. Husker Nation and Famous Dave's is here to make your tailgate, house party, or get-together famous. Award-winning and house-smoked St. Louis-style ribs, Texas beef brisket, Georgia chopped pork, and house-made sides like our Wilbur beans, creamy coleslaw, and Dave's cheesy mac and cheese will surely tackle any barbecue craving. Visit famousdaves.com for all your catering and online ordering needs, or come visit us at our locations in Lincoln and Bellevue.
We're back. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe back with you on a Wednesday night of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network, and a real treat for us to have a couple of members of the Huskers Athletic Department with us tonight, Dr. Kate Higgins and also Dr. Amanda Rodriguez, who deal with certain things that athletes have to deal with, and that is injuries to the brain. Neuropsychologist is Dr. Kate Higgins for Nebraska. Tell me a little bit, Dr. Higgins, about some things that you do on a daily basis for the Huskers.
Yeah, so working in concussions means there's lots of ebbs and flows, right? Sometimes it's really busy and sometimes it's not. But when we have athletes who are concussed, we're doing daily check-ins with them. Usually we're doing some sort of therapy, whether that's eye therapy or balance therapy, which Amanda can speak to, or getting them back into exercise. One of the changes in concussions in the last probably 5 years is that we realized that pulling athletes out of all physical activity is actually not helpful for their recovery, and getting them into some light supervised cardiovascular exercise actually seems to improve recovery. So they're going to be down in the training room doing some exercise. It's supervised by their athletic trainer. We monitor school really closely because these are student athletes and we don't want them to get lost in the sort of student part. So we're making sure that they're staying on top of that, but maybe getting some more breaks or some adjustments to school. So there's lots of sort of almost like case management to concussion aside from the brain, the neuropsych piece of it.
We hear different levels of concussions, right? And how do you determine what level of a concussion that an athlete or just anybody who's involved in something that hits their head, how do you determine that?
So that's a tough one. So there used to be these like grading systems for concussion, right? You might hear like a grade 2 or grade 3 concussion. What's sort of come out in the research over the last couple of years is that, one, there wasn't a consistent way that people were grading, and two, it didn't really tell us much about how the athlete was going to recover. So the grading system is kind of dropped. Sometimes you'll hear, like we'll talk about a mild concussion. If the person, you know, is recovering within 48 hours and starting to feel a lot better, but it's more of just it's not a like specific diagnostic term, I guess. It's just a label to put on it. What has come out is that there's a few things that do seem to predict a longer recovery. One of the biggest things is how significant the symptom load is within 48 hours of the injury. So if an athlete is feeling really, really, really bad right after the injury, that potentially will set them up for a bit longer recovery.
Amanda, take me through your specialty. Dr. Higgins said you wanted to talk about this. Tell everybody what you kind of specialize with.
Yeah, I'm actually a vestibular audiologist by trade. So what is that, right? So audiologists typically diagnose and treat the ear, and we think the ear is basically the hearing part, but there's actually really close organs that control your balance, and so we call them the vestibular organs. That's kind of like my niche within a niche. So I've been practicing for a long time, helping diagnose vestibular loss in kids and adults who have dizziness and balance. When you look at concussion, well, that's one of the main symptoms, as Dr. Higgins was saying, the recovery. Usually when these athletes, after concussion, they usually will report visual blurring and dizziness and imbalance. And so that kind of fits where I come in, where I can use my technology and my expertise to help diagnose, like, okay, how big is the severity? How are the eyes doing? How's the balance? How do these two come together to make them feel the way that they do? And so I use what we call objective testing. So we put eye tracking goggles, we put them on force plates, and we measure their abilities. And then from there, we've really adapted some basic kind of vestibular visual rehabilitation strategies. And those are kind of like exercises for your eye muscles or exercises for your balance. So we actually, in our laboratory, we diagnose, and then we kind of create an exercise regimen to sort of get the athlete kind of back into moving their eyes, moving their body to get them back into recovery. So as Kate mentioned, part of the recovery process is to get up and moving. And I think back in the day, a lot of, from where I came from, it was like rest and recover. So don't move your body, don't move your eyes, keep yourself in a dark room until you really rest. And I think that there's some truth to that maybe in the initial day. But even then, what we really believe in is if we can provide athletes with regimented visual and vestibular rehab in small graded increments, that we can actually improve their recovery because it gets them moving. It makes their eyes and their ears and their head kind of get back into sync with each other. And that's really what we focus on. And it's one of the cool things is that we're able to really minimize or even reverse a lot of those vestibular symptoms that they come in with.
When people think of concussions in sports, they think naturally of football. That's probably the most contact. But I'm sure all athletes are susceptible to this, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We actually, like as Kate mentioned, our laboratory over in CV3, we baseline every single Nebraska student athlete that comes in. So we have their baseline.
Which means that's what their normal brain pattern should be.
Yeah. And, and they come in at a certain level, and there may be factors that may affect their kind of baseline. But it's really nice then when they do get an injury that we have something to refer them back to. This is them. And I think that's really important when we talk about different sports that are very position dependent, like a quarterback or a golf player, whatever it may be. I know exactly what they should look like in terms of how their eyes move or how their balance is. So I don't necessarily want to get them back to the textbook normal. I want to get back to their performing level, if not better. So yeah, our lab is able to sort of look at that, and that's really what I kind of do as part of the concussion team here.
We're visiting with Dr. Amanda Rodriguez and Dr. Kate Higgins here on Sports Nightly. We use the term a lot on our journalists do for particularly football, that someone has entered the concussion protocol. What does that mean? I say it all the time. I'm not sure I know what it means.
Yeah. So once we've decided, once the team physician has decided this person is diagnosed with a concussion, we have a written protocol. We have to submit it to the NCAA every year. It gets posted on our website. And it's just a series of steps that the athlete is going to go through as they recover. It's typically dependent kind of on how they're feeling and how they're doing on all of our objective testing. We try and get away from like an athlete has to spend 2 days in step 1 and 2 days in step 2, because concussion is an injury that varies drastically from person to person and can be really affected by other things. Sleep, for example, student athletes struggle with sleep anyways, just because of all the demands on their time. So they may have sleep issues coming in that then get exacerbated by their concussion and then affect the way they recover from their concussion. So we try and make our protocol really reactive in a good way to whatever the athlete needs, so that we can move them through kind of as slowly or as quickly as their recovery would dictate as appropriate.
We have thousands of parents that are out listening right now, and their athlete isn't at the collegiate level, but they might be in youth sports or high school sports. What are some signs they should look for if they're fearful that maybe their athlete, their son or daughter, could have received a concussion in an event? What should they look for? Are there some tells?
I'll talk about mine, and then you can talk about yours.
That sounds good.
So the most classic one is headache. The problem with headache is that it's very, what we would call non-specific, right? It can be concussion, but it could also be dehydration. It could be sleep. It could be muscle tension related to a neck injury. So headache's a good one, but it's not 100%, right? You have a headache. There's no 100% relationship between headache leads to concussion, but it's a good one to start with. Any sort of like nausea or vomiting, any sort of disorientation, your athlete isn't for sure where they are or what the quarter is or what the play is before or after. Those are all good signs, and then I'll let Amanda speak to some of the ones that fit more in her area.
Yeah, I think, one thing about kids and young adult athletes, they don't complain about dizziness and vertigo very rarely. So whenever we have a child that says, I'm dizzy, we perk up and we're like, okay, well, what could be causing that? So I would say, the actual sensation of, I feel like the room is spinning, or I feel nauseous, or I feel off balance. It's not super common, mostly in children. They're not going to randomly pick that term up. So when they do report, the room is spinning, or I feel nauseous because the room is spinning, or I feel kind of tipsy-topsy, and they had recently had some sort of head impact, that would always spark my attention to think there might be something kind of related there. The other thing I'll say that we probably see more when it comes to like academic is just kind of overall visual blurring or being sensitive to like reading on a page. With concussion, it often will sort of mess what we call ocular motility. So that's just your eye's ability to move back and forth. So when they say, gosh, this is blurry, this hurts my eyes when I'm reading on a page or on my phone, scrolling on my phone is now hard. Kids love to do that. So the fact that they think it's hard would perk my attention to say something's going on with the eyes. So I would say usually my type of signs and symptoms in the context of head injury, I sort of pay attention to because they're a little bit more precise. And like I said before, usually young kids are not one to say that they're dizzy unless there's probably an actual problem for that.
Good. Thank you. That's very helpful. All right. This is for either both of you. We do have NAPL here on campus. How much progress are we making in this? And Dr. Higgins, you mentioned earlier that we used to grade out. We used to say grade level 2. We've kind of gotten rid of that. Are we making progress, and how much are we getting done here at the university?
Yeah, I think one of the things, and this is a language piece, but really we talk about managing concussions because we don't have, I think one of the things we're doing here is maybe figuring out some way to treat concussions, which is different than managing them, right? Managing, we're just sitting, we're watching. Treating, though, we're speeding up recovery, right? And so we unfortunately are not the ones who figured out that exercise is a potential treatment for concussion, but we are certainly implementing the research coming out of New York saying, like, this makes a difference. So that's one thing we're looking at. I think Amanda's area is really interesting as well because we're thinking maybe there's some treatment possibilities in what Amanda does. So
I think that the really coming in from the outside as an audiologist, coming in and kind of fitting my piece to a concussion group, that's really novel and that's really innovative. There's not many audiologists or athletic programs in the country that have an in-house person who could maybe help with a diagnosis and treatment. And that's not a testament to me, it's just really the resources that we have in this facility. So having, CB3 be so close to the athletic department, having that proximity, having those relationships, I think has really bridged a nice, cohesive, multidisciplinary concussion group that we have here in the program. So with like the vestibular or visual stuff, that we know for a fact that those are really common initial symptoms that happen after concussion. And if we, as Kate said, if we wait too long, those can really be really debilitating. And what I experience when I see older adults who maybe were ex-football players or ex-athletes, and they're like, yeah, I've had this many concussions in my life and it was never really a big deal. But now I'm kind of having trouble with, my vision or my balance. I sometimes wonder, did they get treatment? A lot of times they didn't. So what we're trying to do is really early identify that there's a problem, but also know that our treatments are actually really beneficial to help reverse those problems. It's just about timing. And so I think that's one thing we're doing a really good job of as a group here is that we're getting in early and we're just following them. And as Kate said, we're managing, but we're also providing some actual evidence-based research treatments that are shown to actually reverse any issues with the eyes or the balance.
Very good. Okay.
So I think the other thing, to brag on our system a little bit, I think one of the things that we do really well, and it is because we're so well resourced, but we have, we can put a whole team around athletes when it comes to concussion management. If there's a mental health condition, either pre-existing or that pops up after the injury, we have sports psych in-house, and they're a very integral part of our treatment. We have athletic trainers that are working with these athletes daily, which is pretty unique, in a if it's a high school athlete or somebody who's being seen in a clinic, you know, they may be able to see a physician or a provider once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But the fact that these athletes are able to be checked on daily. So then, you know, with the exercise protocol, we strap heart rate monitors on them so we know exactly what heart rate they're exercising at. And some of these more precise things, if sleep medications seem like that would be useful, because sleep often gets disrupted after concussion, that's something we can get on board very, very quickly. So we have, the program here is just really robust because everything is in-house, and it's a matter of, I call Amanda and she says, I'll see him in 2 hours, send him over, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and the actual like outpatient, like hospital concussion clinic setting is really not that refined usually. There's always a process. So for children with concussion, there's plenty of resources, but sometimes there is just more of a waiting period. The positive is I think our fields are moving in the direction of let's move quickly, and I think that's the best thing that we can do for recovery, in my opinion.
Very good. Dr. Amanda Rodriguez, Dr. Kate Higgins, thank you so much. This was very informative, and thank you all for the work you do here at the university. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Buckle up and put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More Sports Nightly coming up.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next-level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Husker fans, stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Big Red on Facebook and Twitter. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding NU athletics, including game results, ticket promotions, and Husker prizes. Log on to also follow several sports-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Become a fan today at Facebook.com/Huskers and Twitter.com/Huskers to join and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world.
Treatment for kids fighting brain cancer has not changed for over 30 years. If a child survives, they will live with the side effects from the treatments for the rest of their lives. This is Rex Burkhead. The Team Jack Foundation invests in impactful childhood brain cancer research to find better treatments and one day a cure. There's a lot of work to do to beat this disease, and we need your help. Donate today by calling 855-RUN-JACK or by visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Your help makes a difference.
Double espresso for Matt, large ice mocha for Greg, $2,022 for Katie. Oops.
Everybody's mind is on the Nebraska Lottery's Powerball's Rockin' 15 promotion. Until September 25th, buy a Powerball with Power Play ticket and enter for a chance to be one of 15 to win $2,022 and a chance to win $1 million.
Sorry for the mix-up, Katie. Here's your latte.
Forget the coffee. Where's my $2,022?
Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Hey, this is Jimmy Buffett. I am so happy to be bringing my Broadway musical, Escape to Margaritaville, to you. It's got all the songs you know by heart, a few new ones, a great cast, and dancing that'll knock your flip-flops off. Get ready to set your mind on Island Time and get your tickets today. Fins up.
At the Lead Center, September 10th through 12th. Get your tickets today at leadcenter.org.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Whew. Sometimes being an office printer feels like I'm competing in an Olympic sport. Thankfully, I have Marco's Managed Print Services on my team. Marco's game plan helps me make big plays while saving big bucks. And Marco's lightning fast tech support gets me back in the game fast. I'm up. Find out what your printers could be saying with Marco's Managed Print Services at marconet.com.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Double espresso for Matt, large ice mocha for Greg, $2,022 for Katie. Oh, oops.
Everybody's mind is on the Nebraska Lottery's Powerball's Rockin' 15 promotion. Until September 25th, buy a Powerball with Power Play ticket and enter for a chance to be one of 15 to win $2,022 and a chance to win $1 million.
Sorry for the mix-up, Katie. Here's your latte.
Forget the coffee. Where's my $2,022?
Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. Between 6 and 8 million Americans meet the criteria for gambling affliction, and many more are affected by another person's gambling problem. Problem gambling is not a bad habit or a moral weakness. It's a serious disorder. With help, problem gamblers can make decisions to improve their lives. If you or someone you love has a gambling problem, contact Choices Treatment Center in Lincoln. For more information, go to the website choicestreatmentcenter.com or problemgamblingnebraska.gov.
We're back inside of our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, brought to you by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer with 27 locations across Nebraska and down into Kansas. Acres, solutions for every field. Thank the two doctors for coming in and talking about a topic that affects anybody that's competitive. It can also affect you if you're just doing everyday life. You can get a concussion in a lot of different ways. On our text line, I remember doing a concussion test and having to recite the months of the year backwards. He also said also in the East Stadium they have a great psychology center / department named CB3, which I believe Dr. Rodriguez brought that up. I remember my days from undergrad not that long ago. It's pretty impressive what they work on at NAPL and upstairs in CB3 as well.
I just started trying to do that.
Do the months
recite
backwards?
the months backwards,
How far
and I
did you
got
go?
stuck on October.
I don't know that I would have admitted
September,
that. Do we need to have you check your eyes? And
I just can't do it fast. Kind of like, some people can do the alphabet backwards fast. I can't do that either.
It's good for your mind. Keeps your mind sharp. We did not touch on this really yesterday. They unveiled the alternate uniforms for the Buffalo game for September 11th. What did you think?
What an awesome video. What a great video, a tribute. I had a lot of people reach out to me across the country, friends that Nebraska fans, non-Nebraska fans, talking about how moving it was and chills and emotional. But, love the video. I really like the uniform. I do. It's hard to see on the video the camo, but there is a camo, a slight camo print on it. If you look at the pictures, you can see it a little bit more. But I really like it. I think it'll be cool, and I like the helmet as well. I really like the helmet.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't so sure that they wouldn't mind seeing that helmet be the helmet moving forward. So we'll see. I can't wait for people to see him. It's the Buffalo game. It is on September the 11th, and it's kind of in memory of that from 20 years ago. Man, I can't believe September 11th was 20 years ago when that happened. Had this in the ticker that Jazz Shelley's going to play for her home country in the Asia Cup coming up here in a few weeks. You had a chance to talk to her and the whole batch of Aussies on that team a few weeks ago.
If you missed that podcast, you'll want to check it out. But great personalities. But I think Jazz is going to be a great addition. I think she's going to provide a lot for this team. And so when I put together just a little social tease on to post. And of course, she has the experience. She's been to the NCAA tournament with Oregon, but I went back and watched a couple of the games that she played for Australia, and I love the way she plays. She's aggressive, and you heard her talking about the pick and roll with oh my gosh.
Izzy Bourne.
Izzy Bourne, yeah. And, so I think she's going to be able to provide a lot of different things. And just a player that's been to the tournament and has experienced that. So I think that experience is going to be vital.
Can't have too many shooters, and she can shoot it. And it's one of the reasons why I'm really excited for that team and excited for her. As I said, I think I put this in the ticker too. She's the only U.S. collegian to make that Aussie team. A lot of them are pro players that are playing. So here she is. Whatever she is, 21, 22, sophomore in college, now playing for her country's team. What a great honor for her.
And all three of them have been involved with Team Australia, their national team in one way, shape, or form. The other have all played in that system. And so a lot of times, if you're a player that's been through the system like that, they know that they can rely on you and count on you. And it's great for recruiting. I mean, keeping that pipeline from Australia to Nebraska coming, but great experience because it's just such a different. You can gain so much playing on that international stage. It really does. It pushes you, makes you a better player.
No doubt. So we'll be following her progress on that. It will take her away from the team for a few weeks while she travels. It is in the Middle East, in Jordan is where the tournament is going to be held. But what a great honor for her to do that and to represent her country of Australia. Really happy for her to be able to step away and do that. And she'll be back certainly in plenty of time for the season when it gets cranked up in early November. Last night you had, speaking of international competition, you were talking with Coach Cook about Justine being back over the weekend. He talked about her first time being on the national team. She was bad.
Yeah. Actually, they didn't bring her back. I mean, she thought her volleyball days were over, and then she turns out to be the best libero in the Olympics this year. So, he said just all the things that she's kind of gone through and didn't even have a collegiate offer, was a setter, had an offer to be a backup setter, and comes here and just her journey of where she got to, and now an Olympic gold medalist and was the best libero in the Olympics. So, yeah, she's got an incredible story.
Very, very cool. Great to have her back last week, and I know the Husker fans that were in the Devaney Center that night, a special moment for them to be able to see that as well. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to dot us up with a comment, a question, or fire off a text. We're back to wrap up this show next.
Stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Huskers on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and more. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding Nebraska athletics, including game times, results, ticket promotions, prize giveaways, and more. Log on to also follow several sport-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Join today and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world. Visit huskers.com/social media to see all of our accounts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sap Brothers. For 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farm equipment, and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sapbrothers.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
It's football season. Husker Nation and Famous Dave's is here to make your tailgate, house party, or get-together famous. Award-winning and house-smoked St. Louis-style ribs, Texas beef brisket, Georgia chopped pork, and house-made sides like our Wilbur beans, creamy coleslaw, and Dave's cheesy mac and cheese will surely tackle any barbecue craving. Visit famousdaves.com for all your catering and online ordering needs, or come visit us at our locations in Lincoln and Bellevue.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next-level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Addie's Sports Bar and Grill is the place to watch Nebraska games this season. Locally owned and operated, Addie's is Omaha's premier sports bar with 4 locations in Elkhorn, Maple Street, Millard, and the new flagship Capitol location in downtown Omaha. If it's Husker game day, it's on at Addie's. Addie's Sports Bar and Grill is Omaha's official watch party spot with game day giveaways, prizes, fun, and more surprises later in the season. Addie's Sports Bar and Grill. See you there for the game.
Treatment for kids fighting brain cancer has not changed for over 30 years. If a child survives, they will live with the side effects from the treatments for the rest of their lives. This is Rex Burkhead. The Team Jack Foundation invests in impactful childhood brain cancer research to find better treatments and one day a cure. There's a lot of work to do to beat this disease, and we need your help. Donate today by calling 855-RUN-JACK or by visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Your help makes a difference.
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and the Team Jack Foundation raises funds for childhood brain cancer research. Please consider supporting the Team Jack Foundation by texting JACK to 243-725 or visiting teamjackfoundation.org. Saw that they had a little parade in Hastings tonight to honor the Little League team that did so well in the Little League World Series back in Pennsylvania. Congratulations to that group. Fun time, and I hope they had a great time at the parade. Good night for a little parade out there.
Yeah, so cool. And those kids are going to remember all of these experiences forever. And shoot, might even, intensify that bug for baseball a little bit more, having that kind of success, and might fall in love with the game even more.
Sure could. The South Dakota team made it to like the semifinals or something. Did you catch their coaches talk to the team when they lost?
I saw it, but I didn't watch it.
He was phenomenal. He told them about, all right, now you guys are known. You will never forget this, but now you need to take this and you need to be trendsetters. You need to be somebody that your classmates in school look up to. You need to be paying attention in school. You need to be, doing all the things right, because now everybody knows who you are, and you want them to continue to look up to you as you go on in your life. It was really, really awesome. Well done.
Was he a dad, or I wonder just a coach of the team?
I don't know.
That's great, though. Great advice, because it is. I mean, you look at a lot of these teams that make it for the first time, or kind of, hometown heroes, and then you go back, and I mean, everybody knows who you are, even if you're 12, 13, 11 years old. And so you got a great opportunity to really be a great role model in your community.
A little better role model than the guy who put together the fake high school football team that we were talking about last night. That thing was so messy. How he kind of fooled a bunch of people to put together this team and get them on TV, and he fooled ESPN, and man, that's a nasty story.
There's another tweet that came out about it, and I mean, it's like someone said, it's the story that keeps on giving. It's crazy. Just more details keep coming out about it, and the fact that they played on ESPN is like, what in the world happened there?
Bit of a sham. All right, tomorrow night, football show tomorrow night during hour number 2. Tony Tuioti, who handles the Husker defensive line, is going to be with us tomorrow in hour number 2. So get your comments, questions ready. Head coach Scott Frost will meet with the media after practice tomorrow. We'll hear clips from him. And I am so excited because we're going to have our first Choices Treatment Center Big Ten picks tomorrow night. You have already called game on this. We haven't even picked one thing, and you're saying you're going to win the thing.
Hey, I feel confident. I won this deal that I participated in a year ago. I'm going to keep it going. I'm, going to take you guys out, too.
All right. We're going to invite Searles to come along. Is that all right?
I think that'd be fun.
Andrew and Tim are submitting their picks.
Pretty competitive,
as well. Yeah, he is competitive. So we'll have some fun with that tomorrow night. Can't wait for tomorrow night show. That'll be our last show of the week because we have Husker volleyball headed your way on Friday night.
Doubleheader.
They play a match in the morning and a match at 6 o'clock at the Devaney Center on Friday. So tomorrow will be our last show of the week. That'll put a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks to Jessica, to Tim, to Andrew, to Mike, to everybody for being a part of this show tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night. Back to wrap up our week here on the show tomorrow.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're ready to pursue a career-building college degree, go with the school you know and trust, the University of Nebraska. And if you need the flexibility, convenience, and affordability of an online degree program, you can go online with the University of Nebraska. with courses developed specifically for the online learner by our 4 regionally accredited NU campuses. It's a valuable online education for your very real-world future. Go to online.nebraska.edu to learn more.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Woohoo! Business Technology 1, network downtime 0. Being a game-winning IT network takes hard work and an experienced technology coach. That's why our game plan includes Marco. Marco helps our entire business infrastructure perform better and score big day in and day out. With Marco's veteran experience guiding our team, every season is a winning season. Find out what your technology could be saying